Good morning, my fellow equitable, fair, and balanced patriots. I'm going to go through 3 stories today. 2 lighthearted, and the middle one is the heavy one. So we're going to have the heavy one sandwiched in between 2 humorous stories. Let's start out with ABC News. Chinese artist Buddha Trump becomes huge online sensation. This and Trump's personality are the extreme opposites. What do you know? ABC News has it exactly right. I'm shocked, I tell you, shocked. Here's what also shocks me though. Take a look at the embedded video. It's actually calling up what I'm going to do for my second news story. This embedded video has absolutely no connection to this story whatsoever. WTF, ABC News? WTF? Let's go into the first sentence or so of this story before we take a look at this Buddha Trump. Hong Kong. By no means is former President Donald Trump famous for his Zen-like qualities. Indeed, the exact opposite, I'd say. But that's exactly how he has been dreamed up by one artist in the southern Chinese city of Xiamen. A man who translate these Chinese names that make them so hard to pronounce. Let's take a look at this Chinese Buddha Trump. There he is in all his contemplative glory. I almost want a copy of this to put into my home. In my den, maybe, when I need a smile, I can look at this. Nobody who follows Trump believes that Trump is anything like this. We all know President Trump is bombastic. This is the biggest thing ever. The United States has never been greater. I am the best president ever. Like most people, I firmly believe that President Trump is not capable of self-contemplation. That's why I'd like to have this particular statue in my den. Something to lighten up my day occasionally, to give me a smile. Let's go on to the next story. We'll jump over to NBC News. With motive still disputed, some point to shooting suspects' religion and shame. Shooting spree suspect faces murder charges. Police not ruling out hate crime amid search for motive. Good grief. This man has already told you what his motive is, and you can see it in the headline. Let's go on a little bit with this story. The Baptist church that admitted Georgia spa murderer. Georgia spa murderer? It doesn't take too long for this story to start converging from the truth. These are not spas that your wife goes to for a facial, for a back massage, for an oil rub down. These are massage parlors where your son goes to for a massage that will come with a happy ending. Robert Aaron Long belonged to Condemned? What? What kind of wording is that? His evil actions. How about, let's correct that. Robert Aaron Long longed to condemn his evil actions on Friday and said it didn't preach hatred against Asian Americans or women. Jumping down a couple of paragraphs. The lengthy statement from the embattled church came after Long 21, who was charged with 8 counts of murder, told investigators he had a sex addiction and targeted the Atlanta spas and the mostly Asian women who worked there on Tuesday because there was a temptation for him that he wanted to eliminate. You see, in the story it says he was a religious nutcase. He was having to pay for sex with these massage therapists. And it just so happened that these massage parlors had mostly Asian employees. These were parlors that he was obviously familiar with. He didn't go randomly from parlor to parlor. These were places he had been to. He probably knew most of his victims. This is not what the press is telling us it is. This is not a crime against Asian women. This is a religious nutcase who was, well, let's be perfectly honest here, was committing crimes against hookers, okay? Women who are selling their bodies for money. These women could have been all Asian, all black, or all white. In this case, they were majority. 6 out of the 8 victims were Asian, the other 2 were white. Imagine the headline if there would have been 6 Asians and 2 black women, or 6 black women and 2 Asians. It would have been a non-story, of course, if there had been 8 white women. Well, maybe not completely a non-story, because then they could play up the religious nut angle. Let's go to our final story. Yes, we've all seen this. This is from the Washington Examiner. In last night's first press conference, Biden correctly names who the real president of the White House is. Let's take a quick look at the story before I play the clip. This is really important, said Biden, of the country's immunization effort, because we believe in speed and efficiency must be matched with a fairness and equity. Yeah, you know this in those big blue letters. Biden says during CNN town hall, we didn't have a coronavirus vaccine when he took office. Funny thing, Mr. President, weren't you immunized from the Wuhan flu before you took office? Let's play the clip.
Now, when President Harris and I took a virtual tour of a vaccination center in Arizona not long ago.
If Uncle Joe is playing with all his marbles, as the Main Street media claims, well, he was shortchanged at the store.